Hi, my name is Dan Sokol. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and I wanted to talk a little bit today about therapy for people that are ready to sit with their story, ready to sit with their history. One of the stressors that can happen over the course of lifetime, if there's a traumatic event or if there's some kind of tension that repeats in life, like conflict in relationships, conflicts at work, or things kind of just don't seem to be working out but they repeat a lot, often have a history that's really uncomfortable to sit with, that brings up a lot of tension, a lot of panic, anxiety, and possibly depressive feelings. And in many cases also a trauma, if there's been a significant trauma or a series of traumas in one's life. Therapy, in terms of telling one's story, is a really important process when one's ready to begin giving meaning to the past, to begin giving meaning to the repetitions and where they stem from, and to really be able to understand oneself and where they come from and how they operate in the world. Now, I know it kind of sounds very intense to think about, oh, that's a lot, to go to therapy, to have to sit with decades of history. But it's a very important part of the process of going into therapy and working towards changing things that are really troublesome or repetitive or real conflicted in one's life. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens very carefully and cautiously and slowly over time. Therapy is a pretty deep investment in terms of one's money and one's life and time. And I mean one's life because you're sitting with some pretty heavy stuff that has some residual effects when you leave therapy. You think about it, things come up, you're revisiting things. I would say it's important to know that although it's scary to think about and it's scary to imagine, well, this stuff's been quiet for so long, why bring it up now? My assumption is you've come to this video or you've come to my website because it's at a time where it's really overwhelming and exhausting, or it's about time in your mind to say, I got to sit with some of this stuff. I got to sit with it now, sooner than later. So the way therapy begins is very cautious and slow in terms of having details sift out and get sifted through in the early stages, and we identify and make meaning of them. All my patients that have been through therapy or still are in therapy have sat with some really difficult stories, have sat with some really great stories. And it's important that we bring them to light, we bring them up from history, we make meaning of them in today, we parallel them with current relationships, current conflicts, current situations, to ultimately at the end be in a place of a deeper insight, awareness about oneself, how they exist in the world, how you operate in the world. And that's where the peace comes from. We don't work magic. It's not, a couple sessions and you're out. It's about deepening and creating deeper understanding of oneself and one's history. And yes, overwhelming, but well worth feeling the magnitude of peace, feeling the magnitude of fulfillment, suddenly having relationships be a lot less conflicted, suddenly having things that have been kind of squashed down in terms of the to-do list, that book to write, that degree you want to get, that relationship you want to take to the next level. The fulfillment is having those things happen in the end. I know this video is kind of intense and there's a lot in it, it's compacted and my head can be theoretical and in the clouds sometimes, but I hope it was helpful in terms of kind of understanding how I work, understanding what it's like when you're telling your story in the process of therapy to make meaning of it and what it would look like. If you want to reach out, feel free to click on the link to my website. There are also more videos on my YouTube channel. Feel free to look at those again. Again, I'm Daniel Sokol, and my website's danielsokol.com. Thank you for listening to this video, and I hope you have a great day.